Thank you for coming on such short notice, Honorary Knight. I know you must be busy. Well, to make a long story short, there's a particular matter at hand that the Knights requires your assistance with. Yes, it has been one thing after another recently. Neither myself nor any of the Mondstadt garrison are able to catch a moment of peace. I have recently received multiple reports from the Knights of someone within the Lawrence clan having close dealings with the Fatui.
The Fatui? Again? Oh, but who are the Lawrence clan?
There was a dark period in Mondstadt's history when the aristocracy ruled over the city. The hard-won freedom that followed with the fall of Decorabian was lost once again as slavery spread throughout the land. The first Dandelion Knight, Vanessa, spearheaded the revolution that overthrew the old aristocratic system and established the Knights of Favonius, leading Mondstadt to become the city that you see today. The aristocrats that had oppressed the people of Mondstadt were none other than the Lawrence clan.
Oh, Paimon gets it! So the clan's descendants are now scheming with the bad guys to carry out more dubious deeds!
We suspect as much, though we have yet to obtain any solid evidence. The reason I summoned you here today is to ask you to help us further investigate this matter. Unfortunately, the Knights of Favonius and the aristocracy have been at odds with one another for as long as I can remember. We've already considered every possible way of resolving our differences, but it seems the descendants of the aristocracy remain antagonistic towards the Knights. No matter what stance we take when dealing with them, the outcome is always the same. Our efforts only result in adding more fuel to the flames. We could come knocking on their door on the grounds of a search warrant, but if the investigation were to come up empty, I'm afraid tensions and distrust would only increase. All of our past efforts would have been wasted. You are in fact the best candidate to represent the Knights of Favonius. But you need not emphasize your role as the honorary knight. You're a traveler from a distant land, and you can approach the aristocrats in this way. Once you come to friendly terms with the Lawrence clan, you should be in a good position to learn more of their possible connections with the Fatui.
Whoa! Leave it to Master Jean to come up with such a thorough plan!
Perhaps such plans have become second nature after all the diplomatic issues I've dealt with. The name of the Lawrence clan member in question is Schubert. Lately, he can often be found strolling near the northern city walls. It is said that he is difficult to get along with due to his temperamental disposition, but if we approach him calmly, then things should go off without a hitch. Thanks again for your help. If you run into any snags along the way, I'll do anything in my power to support you.
Huh? Who are you?
Hello! We're here to...
Hello? Did I hear you correctly? Hello? Huh. And I suppose you think that you can simply strut up here and greet me in such an ignoble and vulgar manner? Given that I don't recognize you, I can only assume that you are a traveler of some variety. I'll have you know that you are speaking with the Schubert Lawrence, a blood descendant of the magnanimous nobility. If you wish to address me, you'd best consider your words more carefully. Such nonchalant manners are inadmissible and will never do. Now, if you're somehow capable of understanding anything I've said, then you will get down on your knees, apologize for your negligent actions, and give me a proper introduction. That is the appropriate etiquette.
That's etiquette? Paimon's never heard of something so complicated before.
Huh. In former times, when people knew their place and respected traditions, such conduct was only basic courtesy when greeting a nobleman. And neglecting your manners would result in a swift whipping. But look at the world now. Rules have been thrown to the wayside and manners forgotten. I cannot bear to see such degradation. What did you say? You dare question the dignity of the nobility? I'll have you know that though the Lawrence clan is in decline, myself and others of noble blood are looking for a chance to restore our rightful honor. Just look around. The people are unruly and undisciplined. I, however, strive to retain the elegance and etiquette of the nobility. After all, we are of a completely different breed by birth. Save your words. I find your manners and bearing repulsive. I have nothing to discuss with the likes of you. Besides, I am in no way obligated to instruct commoners on basic courtesies. Now I have more pressing matters to attend to. I'll take my leave.
So this is what Master Jean meant by difficult to get along with. Let's head back and talk things over with her.
Try and stop me! Well, if it isn't the honorary knight! I'm just on my way out to gather some intel. I didn't expect to run into you here. Huh? Judging by your expression, you must have run into some trouble.
Master Jean tasked us with a special assignment, but things seem to have run aground for the moment.
No need to get down on yourself. Sometimes things just don't turn out as planned. Even I can't guarantee useful intel every time I'm dispatched. You just have to keep at it and never give up. Hey, why don't you let me try to help? What's the problem?
Master Jean asked us to build a connection with someone named Schubert Lawrence. But it turns out that he's a peculiar character that doesn't listen to anyone, especially Paimon.
Aha, Schubert! I know him! Let me guess, he said you didn't have any manners. I've been on the receiving end of his lectures many a time. The Lawrence clan can be very particular about such things.
You mean everyone in the Lawrence clan is just a big headache?
As aristocrats, they believe there should be a certain distance between themselves and common folk. I understand their thinking, but that's just not how things are anymore. However, there is one exception among the Lawrence clan, my good buddy, Eula.
Buddy?
That's right. Not only is she from the Lawrence clan, but she's also captain of the Knights of Favonia's 4th Company. Eula is special. She's not quite like the other members of her clan. She has her own beliefs and it shows. In other words, she doesn't really adhere to the strict rules and conventions of her family. However, she's still quite knowledgeable about dealing with the Lawrences. I'm sure you'll see what I mean if you meet her.
That's strange. If Eula is a member of the Lawrence clan, then why would Master Jean choose us for the task? Couldn't she just ask Eula?
Well, it's a little complicated. Basically, the Lawrence clan has frowned upon the fact that Eula joined the Knights. Her family members don't particularly care for her. In their eyes, Eula is nothing but a traitor to the family. She's very easy to get along with. Just explain the situation, and I'm sure she'll help you come up with a way to get along with Schubert. In fact, I think she's out in the wilderness on patrol this morning. You should be able to find her around Storm Bear Mountains.
Thanks, Amber. All right, you heard her. Let's go find Eula.
Good luck, you two. I've got my own matters to investigate.
Who would have guessed the Knights have a member of the Lawrence clan? Well, if you want to learn about the conduct of the Lawrence clan, who better to ask than one of their own family members?
Full throttle!
The Fatui! What are they doing here? What you would send out the code here? Let's fight first and talk later!
Press the engine!
Miscalculated. This fry. You need to hurry up.
Light up the blazing sun!
Take cover. This is trouble.
Incinerate! Burn it down!
The loneliness. Let's end this quickly.
Stefana, I'll protect us.
I will end
Huh.
You don't think twice before reaching for your sword, do you? Do you have any idea how long I've been tracking these targets? And now you get to stake a claim. You think you're stronger because you got to them first? Mark my words, vengeance will be mine.
What?
That's right. I heard the commotion and came as swiftly as I could, only to find you two already fighting the Fatui. Not only that, you are making quick work of them too. If I didn't make my move, you would have been able to take all the credit. Still, I'm glad you're unscathed. Confronting that number of Fatui at once can be dangerous.
Sorry, Paimon doesn't understand what you mean, but thanks for your concern.
Concern? Why would I be concerned for the safety of my arch-enemies?
Arch-enemies? Wait a minute! You were saying how glad you were that we were unscathed a second ago!
By which I meant, if you were injured, I'd have to escort two strangers guilty of stealing my targets all the way back to Mondstadt. Which would mean you'd cause me even more trouble. My vengeance would be swifter still.
Huh? So that's how you see all this?
Yes, that's me.
Paimon thinks she's pretty strange. Although at least we can communicate with her.
You dare to call someone you've just met strange? Forget the aristocracy. That's rude even by normal standards. Speaking of which, how do you know my name?
This is the honorary knight of the Knights of Favonius. And speaking of rude, we're trying to investigate an aristocrat named Schubert Lawrence. He's so obsessed with etiquette that he's not even willing to speak with us.
I understand now. That's my uncle, all right. But why do you mean to investigate him? I see. You have some nerve to faming a family member right in front of me. I will have vengeance for this too.
No! This is an assignment from Master Jean! It's just an investigation, that's all!
To the everyday citizens of Mondstadt, everyone in the Lawrence clan is scum. It's natural for rumors and unwarranted gossip to lead to such suspicion.
Hard to avoid such a reputation when you're known as the ruthless rulers of Old Mondstadt.
Oh, so that's what you think of me? Yet another transgression to avenge.
But didn't you say it first? Oh.
Curious. We've only just met, and you've already given me 3 causes for vengeance. I assume you need me to teach you the conduct of the Lawrence clan. Only then will you finally be able to communicate with my uncle, correct?
That's right. Amber told us to come and talk to you.
Well then, let's begin your training immediately. It'll be easier to train when we're back in Mondstadt. We'll require other people. We can put that aside for now. Besides, if it's the acting Grandmaster's assignment, and Amber's the one who recommended me, I should comply.
Paimon's confused. This girl's all vengeance this and revenge that. But she doesn't seem the least bit angry. Still, Paimon has met bigger weirdos before.
By royal surprise! Be amazed!
Let the show begin.
Full throttle! Rev the engines!
Ah, you finally arrived. There's no time to spare, so we'll begin with our first lesson.
Wait, hold on. There's something we need to clear up first. Otherwise, it'll keep bugging us.
So that's still on your mind, huh? Maybe you're the ones who can't let things go. Don't worry, there's a time and place for exacting vengeance. Besides, I'm not in the mood for any right now. Best save it for later.
You need to be in the right mood for vengeance.
I already have a long list of vengeance to exact. Even if I wanted to begin now, I'd have to start in the right order. Who knows how long it will be before I get to you?
Well, if you have so much to take care of, wouldn't it just be easier to give us a clean slate?
Absolutely not. Stealing my targets, calling me a ruthless ruler, and suspecting my uncle. All worthy of vengeance in my eyes. But you needn't worry, at least not whilst we're investigating this matter. I'm sure you're familiar with the phrase, a man of moral integrity fears no slanderous attack. If Uncle Schubert didn't commit any wrongdoing, then any such investigation will prove fruitless. But if he did commit a wrongful act, then he should bear the full punishment. I'm sure you understand. Good. Now, there are 2 key points that aristocrats attach great importance to: your manner of speech and your bearing. Let's begin with your manner of speech. Aristocrats have a very unique way of carrying conversation, even with mundane daily topics.
Oh, Paimon's already learned some unique conversation. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine!
Not even close. And besides, it sounds strange.
Hey! Paimon learned it from you! And didn't you say not to call others strange? It seems you don't respect the rules of your own clan.
No, I've no need to trouble myself with such frivolous formalities. Here, allow me to demonstrate. For example, when greeting a friend, you could say, As the morning dew greets the coming dawn, so do I greet you, my dear friend.
As the morning dew does what now?
However, such a phrase may only be used during the morning hours. Also, the party with whom you're speaking must be of approximately the same status as you. Morning dew is not uncommon, so it expresses that friendship should not be measured by value, yet also suggests that friendship between aristocrats is pure like water. Oh, no. You must be prudent with your words. Calling someone a good friend could easily offend them.
But didn't you just say my dear friend in your example? Paimon's confused.
Yes, I did. But you must know in the Lawrence family, dear friend is a set phrase that can only be used towards certain friends with whom one is acquainted, but not particularly close. It sounds much more pleasant to call an acquaintance a dear friend. So, another thing to remember. Aristocrats are concerned with face and being polite. However, if you were to use dear friend to address an intimate friend, the recipient would think that you were deliberately trying to estrange them. This is only the first step in making a greeting. After addressing one another, you then exchange courtesies.
Wait! This is all too abstract. Perhaps it would be better if you gave some real-life demonstrations.
Very well. Come with me. We'll choose some bystanders to converse with.
Oh, you're Eula of the Lawrence clan, right? This can't be good.
You there, lowly laborer. You stand in the presence of a member of the illustrious Lawrence clan. I have words for you. Please acknowledge the glory bestowed upon thee by the nobility... What comes next? Oh, right. By solemnly kneeling to the ground with utmost sincerity.
Huh? I can't make heads or tails of anything you're saying.
Hold on. What did they always teach me? Whenever a dispute arises, protection of your family's prestige and dignity always takes precedence. Got it. As a lowly commoner, you shall maintain absolute reverence when speaking with those under which you so graciously toil. How dare you speak in such a manner?
Is everyone from the Lawrence clan so strange? The days of the Lawrence clan's tyranny have long passed. I don't care what you're trying to do, just beat it. Like I said, I don't care what you're doing. I have nothing to say to any member of the Lawrence clan. And here's a word of advice. I wouldn't be caught dead walking too closely with any one of their like in Mondstadt. If that's all, I'll be going. I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself if we talk any longer.
Hey! Don't leave! Halt! Mark my words, vengeance will be mine!
Wow, the Lawrence name really does carry a terrible reputation.
Never mind him. I could have predicted as much. Let's find someone else. You there, lowly toiler. You stand in the presence of a member of the illustrious Lawrence clan. I have words for you. Please acknowledge the glory bestowed upon thee by the nobility, and solemnly kneel to the ground with utmost sincerity. Huh? Why don't you respond? According to the custom, I must wait until you kneel completely before I can say the next words. Right. I mustn't look at you too long, or I'll be drawing more attention to our difference in status. Oh dear, I've already stared at you for quite a while. Fine. You may spare yourself the formality of kneeling, as it may be a little inconvenient. I shall continue. Oh, wait. I think there's a line for people with rude attitudes in this situation.
Hey, stop bothering me or else I might say something you wouldn't like to hear. Then again, I've got no words for anyone from the Lawrence clan.
Again? What's with this attitude?
Yes, I don't think his attitude will change. If I keep grandstanding like this, the outcome won't be good. Let's try to find someone else to talk to. I'll remember your unwillingness to comply. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine!
Try and stop me!
You there, lowly worker.
Yeah, I've already heard it all before. Look, just spare me the time. Our answer's always the same. We've got nothing to say to the likes of you. I mean, seriously, can't you just take a hint?
Please calm down. We don't want to cause any trouble.
I know she's a Knight of Favonius, and that the Knights wouldn't misplace their trust, but the name Lawrence carries too much weight with it. Even to this very day, the descendants of the Lawrence clan are still scheming to reclaim Mondstadt and reinstate their aristocratic rule. And if that wasn't enough, here you are purposefully using their awkward way of speaking just to put on an act? Don't you care for the feelings of us ordinary folk?
You have a point. But mark my words, this transgression will not go unnoticed.
Huh? You want to fight? Listen here, I may be no match for you, but I'll be sure to lodge a complaint with the Knights of Favonius. I'm sorry, but I want her to understand that I'm serious. Listen here, if you don't want things to get more unpleasant, then you'd better just stop.
Forget it. There's no point in quarreling any further. Let's go. It's all right. This happens quite often. Let's find someone else to talk to.
Paimon thinks we've seen enough now. Let's just stop. Actually, Paimon thinks we should apologize for asking you to demonstrate for us. We had no idea the feelings between the Lawrence clan and the people of Mondstadt were so bitter.
What can we do? The Lawrence name is already a dirty word among every household in Mondstadt. Even 3-year-olds know the story. I see this kind of attitude all the time. Don't worry. What with me being a Knight of Favonius, they're usually willing to speak a few words with me. Perhaps my aristocratic manner of speech provoked them today. Believe me, it's not a big issue.
So this is the way things are normally for you? There's no need for them to direct their anger at you personally.
That's the way things are. Perhaps it's just fate for those who have made mistakes. Accepting punishment is only fair, right? But when your family has committed atrocities, I'm afraid there's no easy path to reconciliation. As memories are carried in the city breeze, the faults of such grievances are passed from one generation to the next. It is now my turn to bear this burden. At least I have a means of living a relatively normal life compared to the elders of my family. I have nothing to be discontented about.
Yeah, why were you so willing to try and demonstrate for us?
Oh, that reminds me. That last person will not escape my vengeance either. Let's leave it at that. Just think of it as something I like to do. But unfortunately, you probably didn't learn much from those conversations. It seems we have no other choice but to find more people to talk to.
No need! Besides, the Traveler's pretty sharp, and nothing gets in our way on an adventure. Paimon thinks we got the gist of it now. Right? Right? We'll just have to roll with it for now. Let's just keep Eula from getting anyone else riled up.
Well then, I'm glad you learned something. You're already halfway toward mastering aristocratic conduct. A proper manner of speech is more aesthetic than anything else. It stems from their taste for refinement. But we must also practice your bearing. I have a very effective way of training for this. Come with me to Dragonspine.
Nice and cool. Natland doesn't have places like this.
It's so cold. Does aristocrat training really need to be done here?
If you wish to truly achieve the dignified conduct of an aristocrat, you must learn to remain composed and elegant even amidst harsh conditions. For example, you can see that part of the path up ahead is quite difficult to traverse. But a well-trained aristocrat would not only effortlessly proceed forward, but do so without a stain on their garment and their elegance fully intact.
Paimon thinks we've left the realm of aristocrats and entered the realm of adventuring. Compared to what we've already seen, this should be a piece of cake. Uh-huh. This is where you can finally apply some of your adventuring knowledge.
You look pretty confident this time. All right, let's get started. Remember, you must be graceful and elegant. Don't get knocked or launched into the air. That would be most unsightly.
Full throttle!
That won't do. You've exposed your shortcomings. No need to worry. Head back to the starting point and try again. It'll be difficult Remember, you must be elegant. Don't get knocked or launched into the air.
Try and stop me!
That won't do. You've exposed your shortcomings. No need to worry. Head back to the starting point and try again. It'll be difficult, remember.
Full throttle! Try and stop me!
Hip.
Rev the engines!
Not bad. A lot better than I had anticipated, at least.
Paimon almost didn't make it through. Whew. Good thing we didn't get stuck. So, are we aristocrats now?
Don't flatter yourselves. We've only just begun. This scenario was relatively simple. In the face of a real battle, one would seldom have a chance to stop and evaluate the situation. There's a leyline monolith just up ahead that will attract nearby monsters. True elegance is the ability to calmly yet swiftly make decisions in the heat of battle. My family set only the highest expectations for me, even as a child. Let's proceed, shall we? This is the leyline monolith. Go ahead, activate it. But be careful not to get launched into the air or frozen while fighting. That would be most unsightly. Well done. Your performance was most impressive. And you managed to remain calm even in these grueling dragonspine surroundings. I'm starting to wonder if even I could have done the same. Given such an outstanding performance, it seems there is little left for me to teach you.
Like Paimon said, adventuring is our specialty. So, that's it for our training, right? Then let's get out of Dragonspine before Paimon turns into a popsicle.
Hold on. I was commending the Traveler's performance just now. You, on the other hand, seem to have made no progress at all.
What? You mean Paimon was also part of the training?
Yes, of course. You were frantically flying and dashing about throughout the entire thing. Not an elegant sight at all. Did you even listen to anything I was trying to teach you?
Yeah, that's it. It's too cold here. Besides, Paimon was paying attention to the Traveler.
Whatever the reason, not heeding my instructions. A cause for vengeance, perhaps. Now, drink this.
Huh? What is it? Are you trying to poison Paimon?
Certainly not. It's warm milk. Didn't you just say that you were freezing? Drink it and it'll help warm you up.
Oh, thank you. Are you still planning on the whole vengeance thing?
If I wasn't, then why would I care about you being cold? If you turned into a Paimon popsicle, that would ruin my plans for vengeance now, wouldn't it? So, dear friend, don't die on me out here.
Ah! Paimon knew something was off!
All in the name of vengeance. No need to thank me. Now then, given that your training is complete, it's time we return to Mondstadt. Our last step will be preparing a cordial gift to present to my uncle when you meet him. I already have something in mind. Let's pay Sarah a visit at Good Hunter.
Rev the engines!
Add Astra. Thank you for Add Astra.
Full throttle!
Oh, hey, Eula. I see you've met the honorary knight.
We meet again, Amber! Seems we're just bound to run into you these days.
Well, I just got back and was thinking about grabbing a bite at Good Hunter. But now that you're here, why don't we all eat together?
Very well. It's been some time since we've last shared a meal together. Come, take a seat. We can discuss my uncle's gift while we eat.
Yes? Is there something else you'd like to order?
Could you please prepare a serving of my uncle's favorite, gebratenes Fleisch mit Sauerkraut? We'll take it as a gift to him later.
Coming right up. It'll take some time to prepare. I'll have it here at the counter once it's ready.
Hold on a moment. Is this satisfying salad also something that Amber ordered?
No, she didn't order it. But because she didn't order any vegetables, I thought I'd throw in a salad on the house. You know, to contrast all the meat dishes.
So, we clearly didn't order this, yet you prepared it without authorization. Mark my words, this transgression will not go unnoticed.
You're gonna take revenge on her for giving us a free salad?
You should know me by now. That's the kind of villainous character I am. Well then, please wait a moment while I get the dish for your uncle started.
Delicious unauthorized delicacies. Sarah will pay for this.
Why would you choose gebratenes Fleisch mit Sauerkraut as a gift for your uncle? Paimon's never even heard that dish before.
This dish isn't actually on Good Hunter's menu. Only long-standing patrons such as my uncle would know about the dish. The old aristocrats seem to take a liking to it.
Because of the sour flavor of the sauerkraut, not too many people are fond of it these days. I guess it's become less popular over time. Eula treated me to the dish once, and I couldn't even finish a bite. I've nicknamed it Gebratenes Fleisch mit Vengeance ever since. Ugh.
I never expected us to have such completely different tastes in food. If I weren't in such a good mood, I'd say that constitutes grounds for transgression. Of course not. It's hard to find someone in Mondstadt that attracts contempt as much as she does.
It's fine when you're just joking between us, but I'm afraid our honorary knight might misunderstand you. Eula's always talking about vengeance, but that's just how she is. It's nothing you should take too seriously.
But I am serious, and I'll remember every transgression committed against me. Ugh, it's no wonder so many people dislike you.
Paimon's starting to realize that Eula is actually a very good person. There's no need to be so awkward when you want to say something nice.
Listen, you've never been labeled as a social pariah, have you?
Well, no?
So that's why you wouldn't understand how hard it is for a bad person to try to be good. It's impossible for me, and I have no intention of acting like a good person. All right, no need to look so sullen. I'm just kidding. Come on, let's eat. The food is getting cold.
Oh, I'm stuffed. I'll see Sarah about the bill.
No need. I've left the mora under the plate. If you try to settle it with her in person, she won't accept payment for the salad. Don't underestimate my ability to exact revenge. Sarah won't get the upper hand this time. All right, next you should pay my uncle a visit. He has a small camp at the top of the mountain near Springvale. He usually whiles his time away there when there's nothing else to do.
Aren't you coming with us, Eula?
I'm afraid that wouldn't be very convenient for me. It'd be better if you two went alone. Ah, yes. Please do remember to pick up the dish from Sarah.
I still have more recon to do in the wilderness. Well, until next time.
Let's meet again. What an interesting bunch you are.
Here, the Gebratenes Fleisch mit Sauerkraut is ready to go. Be sure to eat it while it's hot, otherwise the flavor will be spoiled. And by the way, don't worry too much when Eula says strange things. She's actually a very good person.
Paimon's been meaning to ask. No one could stand the sight of Eula when she was trying to speak with the others in Mondstadt earlier. But she seemed to get along fine with you and Amber just now. What's up with that?
The people of Mondstadt don't take kindly to anyone bearing the Lawrence name. They are unable to see past her family, therefore they don't actually see Eula for herself. So no matter what Eula tries to do, it's seen as a wrongdoing. It essentially strips the meaning of anything she tries to accomplish.
How come you're able to see Eula differently then?
Well, when she joined the Knights of Favonius, it caused quite an uproar. Many people signed a petition demanding that the Knights reverse their decision. At the same time, numerous members of the Lawrence clan crowded the entrance of the Knights of Favonius headquarters, clamoring for Eula to give an explanation.
Whoa, so both sides were unhappy.
That's right. So you can imagine how determined Eula must have been under such circumstances. But thanks to Grandmaster Varka and the unwavering attitudes of others in the Knights of Favonius, they were able to quell the unrest. Tensions still remain beneath the surface, I'm afraid. In the eyes of the people, she's a stain on the Knights of Favonius, and in the eyes of the Lawrence clan, she's a disgrace to her family. But she simply fulfills her duty as a knight, silently helping one person after another, myself included. People like Eula should be approached with care and understanding. She could stand to be treated a little more fairly. I believe a day will come when things will get better.
Once everything's settled, we should go talk to Eula again. Paimon thinks we know how to communicate with her now.
I'm glad. I think that would make her very happy, though she might not ever admit it. Take care. Please come again.
Rev the engines!
The tent seems to be pretty tattered, but there's a really fancy chair. Could this be another aristocratic custom?
Ah, it's you again. I thought I had rid myself of you two. Magnanimous. Yes, indeed, that is true. Very well. I'm certainly not one to be narrow-minded. I'll overlook your previous misconduct for now and listen to what you have to say.
Wow, this guy thinks so highly of himself.
Ah, a kindred spirit, I see. Yes, we must resist the blundering knights of Favonius. You are true and principled. Impressive. My intentions were to test your humility. It appears you have become well-versed in our etiquette.
Oh, so he was testing us. Sheesh, what an ordeal.
Your conduct is satisfactory. I must say, such progress in such a short time is practically unfathomable. If I may ask, from whence did you learn such a civilized manner of speech? Ah, good. Very good. You are bright, and compared with the common folk of Mondstadt, you certainly have potential. If you were of aristocratic blood, your prospects would be promising indeed.
By the way, we brought a gift. Paimon means we would like to present you with a small token of our goodwill.
Could this be? Gebratenes Fleisch mit Sauerkraut? It's evident that your sentiment is genuine. As a young person nowadays, only with no small effort could you achieve such a dish. It's been so long since I dug into a big, tasty... I beg your pardon. What I mean to say is, since it's nearly mealtime, I shall partake. Ah, yes, this aroma, just as I remember it, and this exquisite sour flavor. A delicacy that only us noblemen and women could appreciate.
Now even Paimon's starting to wonder what it tastes like.
I acknowledge your genuine goodwill. Such sincerity must certainly imply that you come bearing a request. Wait, so you've come to know of this, too? It was meant to be a family secret. Well, considering your meticulous etiquette, you must be a talent of unusual fortitude. I'm willing to place my full trust in you. Please, come with me. We happen to be in need of competent fellows like yourself. To see some friends from a distant land. They have offered their assistance in restoring the Lawrence clan to its former glory.
So he trusts us solely based on your etiquette.
Well then, let's get going, shall we? You'll understand everything in due course.
Do you think his friends are the Fatui? Things will get sticky if the Fatui happen to recognize you. What should we do?
Huh? Why have you put on a mask all of a sudden? Even if they are powerful, our status is much higher than theirs in the land of Mondstadt. And therefore we shouldn't allow them to admire our true faces so easily. I see.
Good thinking. Paimon thought for sure they'd recognize us.
Let's proceed, shall we? I'll introduce you as my guest. As you'll see in a moment, there are many already helping us. I heard that this area had already been purged once by the Knights of Favonius, but it's the only place around Mondstadt that is well concealed and spacious enough. Although it has fallen into disrepair and does not suit the tastes of the nobility, we simply have to make do for now.
Sorry, can we walk any faster?
Of course not. An aristocrat always moves with grace in his steps. Moving hurriedly is unacceptable.
As expected, it's the Fatui!
As expected.
Because we always see them around the city. They must be very powerful.
Huh. Nothing more than foreign ruffians with power and the ability to flaunt it. But they are favorable, but...
Hold it right there! Who's this?
If you really must know, they're my guests. If you happen to offend them in even the slightest, then you will be held accountable by the Lawrence clan.
But this matter is of utmost secrecy. We must exercise caution.
You dare question the ways of a nobleman? I don't have time for this. Make way!
No need to sound all high and mighty like that. Fine. You may proceed.
Came here with us. They don't dare to question you.
Of course. That is the benefit of prestige. In past times, it would be a dire offense to speak to a nobleman in such a manner. We could determine a person's fate with the blink of an eye. Huh. And such glory will return to me again before long.
Where have I seen this person before? And who, may I ask, is this? We mustn't bring just anyone in here.
This is our new ally that I've recently met. They are completely trustworthy. You have the word of the Lawrence clan.
Our plans are strictly confidential. It's not wise to bring in an outsider at this time. Furthermore, there's been word that an outlander who joined the Knights of Favonius has been very active in Mondstadt recently.
Don't be ridiculous. Besides, my guest is well versed in the etiquette of the nobility. I must treat them with the proper mutual respect. The Knights of Favonius pay no regard to such details. They could never understand the intricacies of our etiquette.
And what about this thing?
You mean Paimon?
Enough! You dare question my word? Need I remind you who it is who has made your activity in Mondstadt possible? Without the support of the Lawrence clan, you would have all been driven out by the Knights of Favonius like dogs. You must immediately offer your sincerest apologies to my friend. You've offended their honor.
Fine. I'll take your word and make no further inquiries. Now, to the matter at hand. Did you bring the diagram of Mondstadt's defenses as promised?
Oh, so that's what's going on here.
Yes, of course. Here it is.
Let me see. Why is it so poorly drawn? Everything's so squiggly and crooked. And what is this shape supposed to be?
Excuse me? I'll have you know that I went to great lengths to carefully draw this map by hand myself. That shape is the symbol of the Knights of Favonius.
Ah, I see. Crude, but I can make do. Are you able to verify that this is all reliable information?
Of course, you needn't worry about that. Don't forget what we agreed upon. The flag of the Lawrence clan will fly above the Knights of Favonius headquarters. The rights to that building, as well as the whole of Mondstadt, belong to the Lawrence clan.
Yes, we will both profit from this agreement. There's no use haggling over the details. We will make good use of the intel you provided. Also, be certain not to divulge our identity. There would be diplomatic consequences, you know.
Don't worry, this matter is only between you and I. And my new friend here. No one else will know of it. Once this is over, I shall stand atop the Favonius headquarters and rebuke their pathetic rule over Mondstadt. Then, the city and all its people will once again be under the rightful and unwavering rule of the Lawrence clan. Perfect. Just as it once was, and just as it should be.
May I remind you once again that we mustn't act rashly. That is all, for now.
Very well.
Huh? What are you doing?
That's right! It's the Honorary Knight and their trusty companion, Paimon! We're here to crush your evil schemes into dust! Dust!
So this was all just a ploy to deceive me!
It's your own fault! Who would put so much trust in someone based purely on their manners?
After so much planning, this is how it ends? Huh! We'll see about that!
Just as I expected. I knew I should have never trusted these foolish aristocrats. No matter, we already have the intel we need. Get them!
They're running off in different directions. Paimon remembers that this place is a dead end.
Be a killjoy!
Clear the
We've only
Patui
just
first
begun.
and then deal with Schubert later. Over here. I'll protect us.
Miscalculate.
Stop me!
There.
Come on, we can do it.
Rise with the sun!
Let's end this
Light as a
quickly.
blazing sun!
By royal decree, check on us. Cue the spot.
Pyroclastic surge!
The door is open. Let's go. Is that Eula?
Don't touch me! Get out of my way! I'll leave on my own!
It seems we finally caught up with you. This place is crawling with Fatui. Oh, it's you. It seems your investigation went well.
Aha! I see now! So you're the one that taught them our etiquette! And I thought you despised such pleasantries! Furthermore, there is a rule in our family. Such traditions are never to be taught to outsiders.
Ah yes, rings a bell. So what? I had no reason not to teach them.
You have brought shame to our family and ruined my plans. It's all for naught now.
I know that you poured great efforts into these plans, Uncle. But you were well aware that it was not the right thing to do. As a Knight of Favonius, I could not overlook your actions.
Knight of Favonius? Let's get one thing straight. I am your uncle, and you are a member of the Lawrence clan. You should strive to restore your family's glory. You still have a chance. Defeat every Knight of Favonius here, and leave with me. Then I shall plead with the family to spare you, and give you a new beginning.
So just to be clear, you want a Knight of Favonius to attack the Knights of Favonius?
I shall say this one last time. You are not a Knight of Favonius. You are a descendant of the Lawrence clan. The blood of the Lawrence clan flows in your veins. You must comply with the will of the family.
Since when have I ever complied with the will of the family?
Why, you unruly maid!
If anyone should be angry, it should be me. As a member of the Lawrence clan, you knowingly plotted against the city of Mondstadt and threatened its safety. Had you ever stopped to consider the trouble it would bring to so many people? Had you considered how many enemies you would make trying to keep the plans under wraps?
You dare lecture me?
That's right. In the name of the family that you so dearly revere, Uncle Schubert. I've never experienced the age of glory you always speak of. And I've never understood our family's incessant pursuit of it. But I am capable of discerning right from wrong, and I deeply understand what freedom means to the people of Mondstadt. The Lawrence clan should never and will never become what you've dreamed it to be.
Oh, the disgrace of it all! How could such a rebellious monster emerge from our own family?
Things are starting to get pretty hysterical here. Politeness and elegance seem to have gone out the window.
That's enough fuss for today. You two, take him away. The honorary knight and I have other matters to attend to. Given that you've already taken action, I assume you've come across some conclusive evidence?
Paimon took a peek at their diagram. Your uncle had mapped out all of the Knight's patrol routes and marked out key information about Mondstadt.
And there was me thinking that he was just another elder of the family. And a lazy one at that. I never suspected he could stoop this low. So stubborn. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine. Let's discuss this later. Our first priority is recovering that diagram.
Rev the engines!
They're here! Stop them!
Surprise!
Shudder! Crush!
The loneliness.
Shudder!
You can't run!
Over here!
Well,
Ready, steady, go!
we only just begun.
By royal
Try and stop me!
Take cover! I must counterattack!
Surprise!
Finally, so quiet.
Wrath from the sky!
My duty.
Incinerate!
Let's end this quickly!
Incinerate!
Odds revealed!
I'm listening.
Let the magic begin! I'll protect us!
Crush! Beg for mercy. More speed.
where they put the diagram!
Just here, huh? I guess there's no other option but to fight!
Step on up!
Let the show begin. La 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 la.
Leaving so soon? You dare provoke me! Fatui, come forth and dispose of them! That seemed to work.
Incinerate!
Shut up! Crush!
Burn it down! Wrath from the sky!
I must counterattack!
This must be it. They may very well have already made a copy of it. But without my uncle as their puppet, there'd be no use in them attacking the city.
The Fatui wouldn't have relied only on your uncle.
True. But if their plan had hinged purely on taking Mondstadt by force, as opposed to with the help of a puppet, they could have spared themselves the trouble. The Fatui are dishonest, but they wouldn't go as far as to start an open war. Their opposition wouldn't just be Mondstadt alone. Anyway, I'll inform the acting Grandmaster. She'll know how to handle things from here.
Oh yeah! You suddenly appeared at just the right moment!
Yeah, about that. Because you stole my targets by attacking the Fatui I'd been tracking earlier. I came to exact my vengeance. You tried to do my job for me, and I'm here to return the favor.
Finally! After all this time, Paimon understands what you're saying! In reality, you sensed that something might happen to us during our investigation. You were worried about us and your uncle, so you brought a team to take a look.
My purpose was vengeance. Don't twist the story. You don't look too bright, but it turns out you have a knack for scheming. And mark my words, I'll remember that.
Hey, what do you mean Paimon doesn't look too bright?
You have seeded a deep enmity between us. Just you wait. Even if you were to be completely destroyed, I would never forget you.
Bring it on!
I like your fighting spirit. I'll take this diagram back to the Knights of Favonius and take it from here.
Sure. Well, see you around.
That you will. And make sure not to steal my targets next time.
The engines!
Aha! There you are! Good to see you. Your appointment with Sangonomiya is fast approaching. We should get going. Are you ready? We'll start by heading to the camp on Watatsumi Island, and then we'll go meet Her Excellency together from there. If you start to feel seasick at any point during the trip, let me know straight away. That said, you've spent time with the Crux fleet in the past, so I think you'll probably be fine. Ready? And away we go!
the engines! Rev the engines! engines!
Here we are, the training grounds for Watatsumi Island's troops. Right now, the resistance is predominantly made up of local soldiers from Watatsumi Island. Some of them are fighting with the Shogun's army in Tatarasuna, and some of them are stationed here on the island to keep the locals safe.
Did you used to train here too?
Yep. Unfortunately, I had to join the fight in Tatarasuna before I'd had the chance to impress the instructors, so they had me start off by helping in the logistics division. I'll be staying here for now. If you need me for anything, just come here. If I'm not around, just write a note and stick it on the wall. As soon as I see it, I'll come find you. Shoot! It's nearly time for the appointment with Her Excellency. I'll have to show you around Watatsumi Island some other time. For now, let's get ourselves over to Sangonomiya.
So, Sangonomiya is the name of the place where Sangonomiya Kokomi lives? Huh. Let's go check it out.
Try and stop me! Rev the engines!
Food supplies are the absolute top priority, period. We cannot afford any losses. With the conflict between us and the Shogun's army getting more intense by the day, we must prioritize the stability of the rear guard.
Understood. I will think of a way.
Take heart. We have a fresh batch of supplies in hand, and I'm working on expanding the army. I appreciate that the lack of manpower has been hard on all of you, but things are going to get better.
We're expanding the army? Oh, that's great. Whoever this mystery supporter is, they're doing us a great service. Huh? Teppei, what are you doing back on Watatsumi Island? Might I ask who?
VIP guests of Her Excellency, that's who. I'm acting under orders to escort them both here.
Oh, really? Wait, so are you the new recruit everyone's been talking about? Strength of 20 men, splits an arrow in twain from 100 paces, skin as hard as diamond. That's you?
Seriously? What is going on with these rumors?
You've come a long way. I'm sure you must be here on pressing business, so I won't disturb you any further. Feel free to visit me if you have any time to spare. Your Excellency, I'll take my leave.
Your Excellency, I couldn't help but overhear Okubo mention something about a third-party supporter? What was that about?
Not long ago, someone wrote to me saying that they wish to support the Watatsumi Island resistance effort. To that end, they also furnished us with a great deal of supplies. Thanks to them, we can finally start recruiting troops on the scale we need to openly confront the Shogun's army on the front line. I am not without my doubts about the whole affair. But Watatsumi Island is hardly affluent, and these supplies are a much-needed lifeline for us. The sender's conditions were also reasonable. They simply ask us to dedicate ourselves fully to fighting against the Shogun's army. Whatever other motives they may have, we are at least aligned on this. So let's consider them an anonymous ally. Naturally, we shouldn't let our guard down. If you discover anything out of the ordinary, please report it to me at once.
Your Excellency? Does this mean that the food at the front line is gonna get any better? I was at the field hospital the other day, and everyone was begging for some barbecued meat.
Don't worry.
I've already made arrangements for that. Everyone will have their fill of meat. But to be clear, still no alcohol.
That's fantastic!
I understand how hard it's been on everyone. The Resistance Army's rations have barely changed at all since the Vision Hunt decree was first announced. I will discuss this with the Logistics Division to see what further improvements can be made. However, our supplies are still limited. I must ask you to remain patient until victory is ours.
When will the Vision Hunt decree finally end?
That's the question. And I'm afraid I don't have an answer. The mere existence of the Vision Hunt decree is baffling. The Tenryou Commission's attitude just doesn't seem to add up, and neither does the Shogun's. The Tenryou Commission's zealous support for the decree seemed to come out of nowhere, and the Shogun seems completely indifferent to the fact that it has effectively caused a civil war. I suspect the Vision Hunt decree won't end until these mysteries are solved. All I can say for certain is that as long as the Vision Hunt decree remains in force, we will never give up our fight. Traveler, to confirm, knowing the current situation facing Watatsumi Island and the Resistance, are you still willing to fight with us? Good. Then here is your assignment. I hereby appoint you as Captain of the Watatsumi Island Special Operations Unit, Swordfish 2.
Whoa, what? Swordfish 2? Is this the same Swordfish Special Ops unit that I'm thinking of? It's hard enough getting into a Special Ops unit at the bottom rung, let alone jumping to Captain in one fell swoop. This is incredible.
Although this appointment breaks with convention, I firmly believe that with your wisdom, courage, and strength, you can lead your team to victory.
Great! So when do we take up our post?
The members of Swordfish 2 are currently on standby in a valley to the southwest. Ronin have been causing trouble down there lately, and we need a special operations unit to eliminate them and stabilize the rear guard. I have already written your appointment letter, which you'll need to show them on arrival. Once that's out of the way, please lead them in ridding the area of Ronin. The Special Ops unit comprises Watatsumi Island's elite soldiers. They can be a little rough around the edges, but I have every confidence that you will win their trust.
What about me, Your Excellency? Any battles you need me to get involved in? I want to make a contribution to the Resistance too.
Of course. I'll arrange something and brief you shortly.
All right! One successful operation coming right up! You may have swiped the captaincy of Swordfish 2, but watch this space, because this guy's on his way up!
Okay, sure. Well, be careful out there. Don't push yourself too hard. Well, Traveler, let's move out.
Rev the engines!
Ah, you must be the new captain of Swordfish 2. Her Excellency briefed us in advance. Your reputation precedes you, and the appointment letter is all in order. But I still have my doubts.
About what?
I'll be straight with you. I want to know whether you have what it takes to lead us.
You mean, like, a duel?
Normally, a duel would be the quickest way to settle the question. But this time, we've got a better way. We're stationed here because of all the Ronin causing trouble in these parts. If you can get rid of them for us, we'll take that as a measure of your strength.
All right, let's show them what you're made of.
My royal decree!
the ferry? Finally,
Okay, seems like you can hold your own. The rumors are exaggerations, of course, but still, your abilities are admirable. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kotoku, acting captain of Swordfish 2. This is Yoshihisa, a fellow veteran of the team. I now formally cede the position of captain to you. Swordfish 2 awaits your orders.
There are 2 hard-hit areas. This was one of them, but thanks to you, this area is now secure. Their only remaining stronghold is located at the shallows on the east side of the island. That said, the ones over there are tougher, and there's more of them.
You got that right. Watatsumi Island is busy fighting the Shogun's army on the front line. We can't let these guys mess up things at the rear.
Rev the engines! Full throttle! Try and stop me! Incinerate! Hey, not a bad haul. Full throttle!
There's so many of them!
That's not even all of them. They have 2 more camps nearby. Whichever camp we attack, it's the Ronin in the other 2 camps that'll cause us issues. They might decide to provide backup or abandon them and escape on their own. But Captain, that would put you in great danger. If we spread our troops too thin, we won't have enough men to guard you. It's too risky.
Yep, the Traveler eats amateurs like these for breakfast.
All right then. We'll deal with them all in one go and rendezvous with you on completion.
Over here! Let the show begin.
Light up the blazing sun!
To the ferry!
Incinerate!
I'm ready!
Suffice!
Midnight Phantasmagoria!
Ready, steady, go!
This will
Try
do!
and stop me!
This isn't over! It's this!
Incinerate!
Oz, repeat! Chip on us!
Taste my blade!
Let the magic begin!
I'll protect us.
Rev the engines!
You win this battle.
That should be the last of them. You didn't get hurt, did you? Cool. Paimon wonders how everything is going with Kotoku and Yoshihisa. Should we go over and check on them?
Captain!
Captain, the other 2 camps have been cleared. The entire rearguard of Watatsumi Island is now secure.
Great! us, too. But what's next? Let's go back and check with Kokumi.
Finally, we got it done. These Ronin have been bugging me for ages, but Kotoku wouldn't let us at him until now.
What? No way could you have taken them down without the new captain here. I was putting the safety of the team first. Got it?
Oh, come on. You were just being a coward.
Hey, cut the attitude! These guys, honestly. Forget them. Let's go.
How was it? Did your initiation go smoothly? I'm sure you're playing it down a little. Kotoku and the others put you through your paces, I presume. But with your level of ability, I'm sure it was a walk in the park. Since you're back, I take it that the Ronin are now gone from Watatsumi Island?
You bet! We sure showed them who's boss!
Good. Now we just need to make sure Okubo keeps a close watch to prevent their resurgence. Thank you. I believe in rewarding merit, so you will be compensated for your hard work. Let me see. Too soon. I gave him an assignment. He's taking part in a surprise attack against the Shogun's navy. He expressed a desire to be on the front line, so I honored his wishes. Now, speaking of assignments, I have a special mission I'd like to give you.
A special mission?
Yes. In between Watatsumi Island and Tarasuna, there are some ruins relating to a god who fell in the Archon War. There are several small islands there, often used as a transit point when transporting supplies. Recently, however, supplies stored there have started to go missing for no obvious reason. Stranger still, the Resistance Army passed by and reported they found no signs of danger. I'd like to task you with getting to the bottom of this. It's not urgent, so there is no need to leave immediately. I suggest you take a few days to familiarize yourselves with the army, and also with Watatsumi Island. When Teppei returns, you can catch up with him, then pick a day when the weather's good to set sail for the islands.
Is Teppei really gonna be okay? He has a tendency to dive into action without thinking things through. Oh, Paimon can't help but feel a little worried about him. Oh, why don't we go wait for him at the training grounds?
Long time no see! So, how's Swordfish 2 treating you? Getting along okay with everyone? Well, you're in luck, because this seasoned veteran's got a few leadership tips for you. Raising their pay will boost morale, while giving them a few bounties will act as an incentive to go the extra mile. It's also important to maintain strict discipline at all times, and finally... wait. What was it? What was it?
Wow, where'd you learn all that, Teppei?
I read it in a novel from the Eye Publishing House. It was a long time ago. You wouldn't believe how many dongo it took to convince my friend to let me borrow it.
You're seriously gonna use a novel to tell people how to run an army? Pretty sure that's called being an armchair general.
Ha ha! That's where you underestimate me. That's right, I'm learning military management on the job now. Just like you. You'd better believe it. Thanks to my outstanding achievements in the recent naval battle, I have officially been made the captain of my very own Special Operations Unit. It's a brand new unit, Herring 1. What do you think? Pretty awesome, right? I spoke to Her Excellency, and she says our uniforms are in production. Let's go collect them together once they're ready. Oh, I can't wait to put them on. We're really gonna look the part. Ah! everything's going great. Our mystery sponsor supplies have really helped turn things around.
Will Paimon get a uniform too?
Of course. You're a recognized member of the Watatsumi Island Resistance.
Yippee!
Captain, a new assignment has come in.
Thank you, soldier. I'll be there on the double. All right, I'd better go. See you again soon. You'd better watch out, partner. At the rate I'm going, I'll overtake you if you're not careful.
Ha! In your dreams, mister!
I wouldn't be so confident if I were you. I'm at the top of my game right now. This is my time to shine.
Paimon's so surprised that Tepe's been made a platoon captain. He must have been working super hard. Let's take a break, then go check out these Archon War ruins.
Try and stop me!
This could be the place. But Sankanomiya was right. Doesn't look like anything suspicious is going on. Could they be hiding? Let's see what we can find. These electro monuments look a little suspicious. Let the show begin. La 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 la.
Wrath from the sky!
Phew. Glad that's over. As monsters go, that one was pretty tough. But what's such a huge Thunderhelm Lodge Earl doing here in the first place? It doesn't make any sense. Also, the atmosphere here gives Paimon the creeps. Anyway, the good thing is that it's over now. We should probably get going. Huh? Tepe, what are you doing here?
Wow, this is a surprise. I didn't know you were the ones investigating here. I just got back from delivering some supplies to the front line. I figured I'd stop by and clear any threats in this area on the way back.
Are you alright there, buddy? You're looking slightly the worse for wear.
I'm fine. It's nothing. I must have caught a cold a couple of days ago while I was out at sea. On my way past, I heard that someone had just arrived on the island to investigate, so I thought I'd come and take a look. If there'd been some real danger, I might have had the chance to be the hero. Shame it was just you guys. Guess I came here for nothing.
Tepe, don't you think there's something strange about this place?
Now that you mention it, there is something a little off about it. It could be that the Tatarigami is more palpable here, I guess. We're not that far away from Orobashi's remains.
Orobashi? Who's that?
A god. Look, there's the corpse over there.
Ah! It's a gigantic snake skeleton! Oh, it looks terrifying!
Orobashi was the one who brought our ancestors from Enkanomiya to the surface. That's the origin of the Watatsumi Island you know today. Our ancestors regarded it as a guardian deity. But during the Archon War, Orobashi invaded Yashiori Island. The Raiden Shogun came out in person and slew Orobashi with the Muso no Hitotachi. That same slash also formed what later became known as Musojin Gorge.
The Raiden Shogun created Musojin Gorge in one slash? Wow, that's pretty incredible!
Yes, but the Archon War was brutal. And Yashiori Island was completely destroyed during that battle. They say the Shogun lost something very dear to her along the way, too. Since Orobashi's death, there has always been some animosity between Watatsumi Island and the Shogunate, but our different beliefs have nothing to do with why the resistance was formed. We only rose up to fight against the Vision Hunt Decree. When Orobashi attacked civilization, the Shogun stood up and put a stop to it. But now that the Shogun is stripping people of their ambitions with the Vision Hunt Decree, it's time for someone to stand up and stop the Shogun. Alright, I'm heading back. I was just dealing with some of the Shogun's elite samurai, so I think I'm gonna take a quick breather, and it's on to my next assignment. You should report back to Sangonomiya as soon as possible. Don't stay here longer than you need to. Being around the Tatarigami too long won't do your health any good. Hey, don't worry about me. Peak condition.
Tepe sure made some big progress if he's already dealing with Shogunate samurai. Paimon can hardly believe it. Let's report back to Kokomi.
Rev the engines!
Kokomi, we're back! Oh, look, Goro's here too! What happened? They look so serious.
Approximately how many people are exhibiting these symptoms?
I haven't had the chance to do a full count yet.
Kokomi, Goro, what's going on?
Recently, some of our soldiers started showing symptoms of accelerated aging. I called them in for questioning and found out they'd privately acquired some secret weapons from our sponsor. Most of them are highly ambitious types, vehemently opposed to the Vision Hunt Decree. They've been using these new weapons secretly since getting a hold of them.
So that's why the war has been going unusually well. But risky secret weapons are not the answer. We must put a stop to it immediately. Goro, have you managed to acquire one of these weapons?
Well, most of the officers refuse to hand them over. Still, I did manage to get one.
Do you know something about this?
So that means our secret sponsor is the Fatui?
But why would the Fatui do this? Forget that. There's no time. Right now, we need to inform the whole army to cease using their delusions immediately. All soldiers who have shown symptoms are to be taken for treatment. I just hope we'll be in time to save them.
Wait a second. Speaking of soldiers with symptoms... No! Surely he can't have... Let's go check on him.
Oh. Hey, guys. What are you doing here? Just a moment. Let me get up. Ugh. It's weird. I don't know where all my strength's gone. Oh, right. Yeah. I haven't had time to give you the full details. Well, I made a lot of great contributions to the war effort lately. Fighting the Shogun's army at sea, taking on Shogunate samurai all by myself, rescuing my comrades from an ambush. Things I never would have dreamed I could do when you first met me. If only I were stronger still. The stronger I am, the more I can do for the Resistance. Wait a sec. Where's my secret weapon gone? It wasn't long after you were made captain of Swordfish 2. I met these mysterious people. Said they were with our supporters. They gave it to me and said that as long as I have the will to become stronger, this secret weapon will answer my call. It's just like a vision, isn't it? Of course, I've never used a vision, so I wouldn't know the difference. Delusion. Oh God. That doesn't sound very good. So, what's the difference between a delusion and a vision? Gosh. Well, I suppose it's not too surprising that a mysterious weapon of unknown origins would come with its risks. I've been getting more and more tired over the past few days, and I have this strange sense of dread. At first, I'd find I was a little more beat than usual after a battle. Didn't think anything of it. But today, I got back and suddenly my vision was going blurry. This is a real shame. There I was, thinking I was catching up with you. Guess I didn't receive the favor of the gods after all. Hey, would you do something for me? When our uniforms are ready, grab mine for me. Bring it back here, and we can change together. What's that look for? Don't worry, partner. As soon as I've rested up, I'll be right as rain. Right as rain, I tell you. As soon as I've rested up.
Tepe! Hey! Where are you going? Hey!
How's Tepe's condition? I have put out the order to cease all delusions. The vast majority are showing some loss of vitality, but nothing serious. Sadly, a few have been less fortunate.
Your Excellency, I'm planning to establish a dedicated field hospital to monitor their condition. The soldiers are up in arms about the ban, though. They know full well what a delusion is, but they still intend to keep using them.
Okay. I'll leave you to deal with the situation. I have to get to the front line. This whole fiasco is certain to be a blow to morale. If the Shogun's army attacks now while we're scrambling to recover, it could well undo everything we have achieved so far. What are your thoughts? No, it's too dangerous. The Sakoku decree is still in force, so their delusions must be produced within Inazuma's borders. To organize an operation of this scale, they will have had to mobilize a huge amount of manpower and resources. They can't have done it without local support. If we want to stop them, we have to destroy the factory where the delusions are made. But it's sure to be heavily guarded. It's dangerous to go alone. At least take some troops with you.
Your Excellency, given the urgency of the situation, we were hardly discreet when confiscating the delusions. The Fatui are sure to take notice. If we spend any longer amassing our forces, they will get wind of our plans and make their escape.
Very true. Let me think. I gave this some thought while you were confiscating the delusions. The side of the factory must be big and secluded, but close enough to a transport route to ensure the supply of raw materials. Not many places meet these criteria, and if we take the locations where our soldiers receive their delusions into account as well, I suspect the site is likely to be the cliffs, near the ocean at the southwest of Yashiori Island. I'm not going to stop you, but please, be careful. We have lost too many courageous fighters already. I don't want to lose you too.
Huh? You mean to the delusion factory? Really? You aren't gonna think it over first? Fine.
Full throttle!
Phew.
Try and stop me! Rev the engines!
Let's get down to business.
Be amazed!
How's this? Boom!
Come on! We can do it!
See no more!
Full throttle! Incinerate!
The fairy!
Incinerate!
Something to add to my collection.
Rev the engines! engines! Something to add to my collection.
My hammer.
Rev the engines!
I should replace my hammer.
Rev the engines! Light up the blazing sun!
You can't run! Well, neither can I. Don't be a killjoy! We've only just begun. Looks like I went too far.
So, is this what delusions are made from? So much crystal.
Let's move. You can't run. Shouldn't get careless.
Are they getting this from Rita? So the Conjure Commission are...
You don't be a killjoy. We've only just begun. Miscalculated.
Incinerate!
Over here!
Surprise!
I'll protect
You need to hurry up.
Try and stop me!
Who can I The more, the merrier. You really know how to get me going.
Rev the engines! Light up the blazing sun!
Let me amuse myself a little. The more, the merrier. The citizens shine longer.
Yikes! It looks dangerous! We'd better watch our step or we might get hit!
Full throttle!
Intruder spotted! Do not let them impede the work of the Mortals. You can't run! Never get out of here alive! Well, this should be... Midnight.
Just on up!
I see through you!
Pyroclastic surge!
This city must have a death wish! Have a load of this! Don't be intimidated! Lord Harbinger will be here soon!
Shadow Raven! Let night fall!
Do the spotlight! Full throttle!
Out of my sight.
By royal decree! Over here!
Light it up!
This body belongs to ice.
Roast and fry!
Incinerate!
You need to hurry up!
Wings of darkness! Come!
Try and stop me!
Look!
You actually managed to find this place. Congratulations.
So, you're another Fatui Harbinger? Like Senora and Child?
Senora and Child. I didn't know you and my two least reliable colleagues were acquainted. I'm the Balladeer. Number 6 of the Fatui Harbingers. Delighted to meet you, oh mighty traveler. So many visitors today. To what do I owe the honor? Oh, so that's what this is about. I think you've got the wrong idea. I know how this looks, but I'm just here to follow orders. I'm obviously not the mastermind behind this. Aren't you supposed to be pretty tough? What are you waiting for? Go get them. You're getting all worked up over nothing. Didn't have you down as being so weak.
How can you say this is nothing?
How can you call it anything more? It's the way of the world. Human life is worthless. They were always going to die, with or without a delusion. At least having one gives them a chance to fulfill their ambitions. Do you have any idea how useful the Vision Hunt decree is to us? It took a lot of work to make it happen. Obviously, it was in our best interests. Good news is, our hard work is finally paying off. Generating conflict creates a big market for delusions. Now we just let the promise of power draw in the weak. For just a small price, they get the feeling of controlling the world, trading their life for supreme power. Pretty good deal, don't you think?
So, the Fatui started the Vision Hunt decree? You've been behind it all along?
From the outside, Inazuma looks pretty impenetrable. But on the inside, it's a land of opportunity. With a little effort, we were able to break them down from within. Eternity stretches things out over a long time, but each moment within it becomes all the more fragile. Take your friend in the Resistance, for example. There's nothing you can do now. He's a lost cause. Just like a bubble on the water. Beautiful for a moment, then total destruction. The more it takes from them, the more tightly they hold on to it. And the more incompetent they are, the more determined they are to fight it. It's such a farce. You have to see the funny side.
Hey, calm down! No!
That's it. Just like that. Embrace the anger. Embrace it! The wrath of the gods fills this factory, and it feeds on your anger.
What's happening? Get up!
Repeat after me. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Come on. Okay, that's positive. Your brain seems relatively unscathed. This is good news. It's just as well, really, with the amount of effort it took me to get you back here. Honestly, it was like you were glued to the ground back there.
Nico? Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something. How come you're acting so differently from when we first met you?
Am I? Maybe it's because I had the other Shrine Maidens leave. Anyway, I've always been like this. People show you whatever side of themselves they want you to see. I know this for a fact. Every side of me is the real me. People just like to define things in all sorts of arbitrary ways. This is a human society. At the moment, anyway. And I'm just doing as I please.
Paimon didn't quite follow.
Study humans a while longer, my little friend. You'll see what I mean.
Right! Paimon was so focused on the Traveler that Paimon didn't notice what you did to get Scaramouche off our backs.
What if I told you it was a secret art from the Grand Narukami Shrine, and that I had the balladeer down on his knees, begging for mercy in an instant? Would you believe me? Well, maybe you should be worrying less about that, and more about how exactly you're going to thank me, no? Maybe some of your neural circuitry is less intact than I thought. I didn't mean you had to be so formal about it. I need your actions, not your words. The delusions. They're still on your mind, aren't they? You needn't worry. The leader of Watatsumi Island took some troops to clear the place out. She's also issued a strict ban on the use of delusions across the whole army. With their stronghold exposed, I doubt the balladeer is stubborn enough to try and retaliate now on his colleague's behalf. It would be more trouble than it's worth. I must say, I would relish the opportunity to watch the Fatui getting a taste of their own medicine. Well, anyway, that Songonamiya Kokomi, she really outdid herself this time. I'd love to have another chat with her again in person, but alas, belief systems can be such a hindrance sometimes.
A hindrance? Should you really be saying that as the Gucci of the Grand Shrine?
Anyway,
I'm only telling you this to stop you worrying so that you can focus on something I need you to do for me. You've met her, right? I'm not talking about the puppet. I mean her. You've met her, yes? Yes, the true Raiden Shogun, who meditates endlessly in the plane of Euthymia to preserve her being. Her name is A.
Are you saying that the one we met at the ceremony was just a puppet? And the real Raiden Shogun is the one that the Traveler met later? And does that mean that when the battlefield changed, so did the opponent?
Because this is the Raiden Shogun's eternity. Before pursuing the eternity of her nation, she had to reach eternity for herself. Since the physical body will eventually turn to dust, she replaced hers with that of a puppet. And since the spirit is susceptible to erosion, she placed her consciousness inside her sword, where she remains in a meditative state, free from all disturbances.
So, that place that she carved open with her sword...
The plane of Euthymia. Essentially, the world inside her mind. A place that typically only allows her existence. She shuts herself off in her inner world, leaving all the affairs of the outside world to be dealt with by a puppet, who has a singular focus on the pursuit of eternity. This is the approach A has come up with for realizing eternity. You mean Morax? It's been a while since I last saw him. A surprising decision by Liyue's Archon. What a fascinating god he is.
It seems like the Raiden Shogun's approach solves the problem Zhongli was facing, though.
Perhaps. Or you could take the view that she's acting like a little child, throwing a temper tantrum and locking herself in her room. Don't you think? The grand notion of eternity she once held has long since given way to the eternity of her own definition. And ultimately, her eternity is defined by fear. The fear of loss. The truth is, we are on the same side. You want to save the people of Inazuma from the Vision Hunt decree. So do I. The only difference is that I'd rather like to save this nation and save A while we're at it. The key is that the plane of Euthymia represents A's inner world. Defeat her there, and you may well have the chance to shake the Raiden Shogun's will.
So this is your plan? To abolish the Vision Hunt decree? Not by talking her out of it, or through an armed resistance, but by, hopping inside the Raiden Shogun's inner world?
You're a fast learner. In short, this is the last chance to get Inazuma back on track. Otherwise, an eternity of darkness awaits. Don't you realize how special you are? Remember, the plane of Euthymia is a space where only she is allowed to exist. The fact that you could appear there tells us one crucial thing. That you have piqued her interest. Perhaps it's because she has never seen an individual who is so unpredictable in the face of eternity.
Has no one else ever been in there?
None. No one has seen the devotee of eternity since she shut herself away. In fact, no one even knows what it looks like in there. Your existence is more than just an opportunity. It's the very key to all of this. To that I say, well done, child. You did not disappoint me after all.
Wait, you're leaving? Where are you going?
Anti-Raiden Shogun training. I've prepared a special program just for you. Come along.
Hip. Hip.
Rev the engines!
We're gonna do it here? And what's this mechanism for?
Think of it as a catalyst that can reproduce the Raiden Shogun's combat moves. I made it from my own memory, which means it should be perfectly accurate. Unless, of course, her skills have declined. It'll give you a chance to figure out her moves in advance and come up with a counter-strategy. That should be a big help, don't you think? The aim is to try to not get hit by the attacks. Since you've escaped certain death at her hand once already, I presume this shouldn't be more than you can handle.
Insubordination! Let's dance! Come on! We can do it! What a workout! So how come you know so much about the Raiden Shogun?
You mean me? Perhaps it's because I'm the Electro Archon's familiar.
What? Like Dvalin is to Barbados? Huh. Never would have guessed by looking at you.
It sounds like you'd be more persuaded if you saw me in my fox form. In your dreams.
Huh.
More curious than my appearance is the fact that she and I don't see each other anymore, wouldn't you say? A nation to last for all eternity is a dream that she and I both share. But I don't think that's the same thing as complete stasis. At some point, she started going down a path that became increasingly difficult for me to join her on. You know, A never said goodbye to me before she stepped into the plane of euthymia. Perhaps it's just my wishful thinking, but I think she did this deliberately, as her way of keeping our friendship eternal. By neither saying goodbye nor seeing me again, our relationship will remain forever how it was. In her mind, at least. Since we've embarked on two very different paths to eternity, I can either continue to maintain the status quo or do whatever it takes to bring her back on track, regardless of the cost. I have chosen the latter because if stubbornly isolating herself in the plane of euthymia is her idea of eternity, then my duty as her eternal familiar is to drag her back out of her own head and into the real world.
Aw, Miko, you sound like a really great friend.
I'm only telling you this so you can properly understand my plan. Could you possibly spare the sentimentality for the time being? Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. Time for Anti-Ryzen Shogun Training Phase 2.
There's a part 2?
Try and stop me!
Oz, reveal that! Nirvana!
Be amazed! No more mistakes! Wrath from the sky!
Over here!
Let the show begin!
By royal decree!
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
The flame burns!
Let the magic begin! Didn't quite touch it!
Let's... ready, steady, go!
Oz, reveal thyself! Surprise!
No rest for the wicked. As you wish, main Fräulein.
I summon thee! Over here! Cue the spotlight!
We're finally done! How did we do?
You did quite admirably. I could see your determination and your hard work.
So, do you think we're ready to beat the Ryzen Shogun now?
How do I put this? You're no match for her at all.
Wait, what? So all of this was a complete waste of time?
You are the most important part of the plan. I know what I'm doing. You don't think I'd leave you with no chance to win at all, do you? Speaking of, Traveler, what do you think of the Resistance Army's chances? You're absolutely right. Perhaps they occasionally best the Shogun's army in open battle, but when they face the Raiden Shogun herself... Considering even their visions have been taken from them and embedded in the statue, they're ultimately quite helpless.
You don't have to be so blunt. The Traveler's the captain of Swordfish too, you know.
I don't mean to belittle them. On the contrary. It is precisely because of their helplessness, because their visions have been taken from them, that their will is all the more precious. In short, if everything goes according to plan, they may yet prove to be helpful. Oh, goodness, is that the time? I have another guest to receive today. We can talk more back at the Grand Narukami Shrine.
All of a sudden, you're entertaining guests? Hyman's really struggling to understand how you work.
Okay, we can talk here. You asked me about the plan. In fact, I've been mulling it over for quite a long time. Before one makes a plan, what is the most important thing one must do?
Don't know. What is it?
You must understand the situation you are facing. The Vision Hunt Decree was obviously devised as a means of manipulating the Shogun, the ones behind it knowing full well her susceptibility as a puppet, with a single-minded focus on eternity. Yes, this is the strongest piece of evidence we have to go on. Now, we also know that every aspect of the Vision Hunt Decree's promulgation and execution has been enthusiastically spearheaded by the Tenryou Commission from the outset.
Ayaka was saying that every time they submitted a petition against the Vision Hunt Decree, the Tenryou and Kanjo commissions would veto it straight away with no negotiation.
Yes, it's all too clear that both the Tenryou and Kanjo commissions are in some form of collusion with the Fatui. Foolish humans, blinded by their greed. Thus, the current situation is that our Fatui antagonist is still at large, has the two rogue commissions wrapped around their finger, and is distributing delusions from the shadows. Unfortunately, given that said antagonist is under the protection of two commissions and the Raiden Shogun, we would be rather hard-pressed to track them down.
So, what should we do?
It will be easier for us to start with someone from Inazuma. So my plan is to incite rebellion in the Tenryou Commission.
Rebellion? What are you talking about? After everything you just said, it sounds like the Tenryou Commission has rebelled already.
When I say rebellion, I don't mean betraying the shogunate. I mean inciting a certain someone to betray the Tenryou Commission. If we manage to convince her, I'm quite sure we'll be able to get you another audience with the Raiden Shogun. I'll give you a clue. She's currently in charge of the Shogun's army. She visits the shrine at this time every month, and she is our guest today. She also appears to be standing right behind you.
Don't move a muscle. You've got some nerve showing up here in the shrine when there's an active warrant for your arrest. Don't even think about trying anything. Surrender now. You're coming with me to headquarters. Seize him!
Affirmative.
Kujusara!
It seems that you're forgetting. This is the Grand Narukami Shrine. Use of force here is strictly forbidden. Before you proceed, which of you would like to face criminal charges for dishonoring the Shogun,
Ugh! Guji-ai, please tell me you are not sheltering a wanted criminal here.
We are just friends. I don't see what sheltering has to do with it. Tell your subordinates to leave. We have things to discuss.
All of you outside.
As you wish.
Guji-ai, I'm a little curious. Does it not also dishonor the Shogun to hide a wanted criminal at her grand shrine?
You're the same as ever, Kujosara. No one can match you when it comes to loyalty to the Shogun.
As a servant, loyalty to the Shogun is my duty. And as a warrior, I dedicate my life to following the way of the Shogun.
Even though she will one day seize your vision too?
The Vision Hunt Decree is the Shogun's chosen course, and I shall not question it.
It's tragic. Such wholehearted devotion rendered meaningless by circumstance. Have you been kept in the dark? Or are you the only one left in the light?
Lady Guji, I need you to be direct. Tell me exactly what you mean.
The Vision Hunt Decree is a trap. Part of a Fatui plot to bring Inazuma to its knees. And your masters, the Kujo clan of the Tenryou Commission, they're the ones keeping the truth from reaching the Shogun.
You're saying the Kujo clan betrayed the shogunate?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Guji Yae, your allegation is not only dangerous, but ridiculous. The Tri-Commission has served the shogun since ancient times, and remains absolutely loyal to this day. Ever since I was adopted by the Kujo clan, I have seen and heard nothing but pure devotion toward the shogun. At every level of the Tenryou Commission, especially from the head of the clan, Kujo Takayuki. He reveres the Muso no Hitotachi more than anyone. My own respect for the shogun pales in comparison to his. How could he ever even dream of acting against the shogun?
3 days. Come back here in 3 days and I will show you the evidence. As a Guji, there's one thing I know very well. People believe whatever they want to believe. Some things you do not see, simply because you do not wish to look. And so, it falls to me to place the truth before your eyes, in all its ugliness.
3 days? I'll be here. But if I don't see any evidence, I will demand a formal apology for slandering the Kujo clan. Also, he will have to come with me.
Wonderful. Then I'll see you in 3 days. I look forward to it very much.
That was so scary! Paimon wasn't expecting to run into Kujosara here. But, Miko, you mentioned evidence of the Tenryou Commission's betrayal. Is that all in hand and good to go, or...?
Why are you always asking so many questions? Of course not. I just had to say something because I clearly wasn't convincing her.
Not entirely unexpected.
As plans go, changing the deity's mind is a huge gamble to begin with. We can't expect to be in control of every last detail when we're facing off against a god, can we?
Okay, but what are we gonna do, though? We only have 3 days!
If we want to get our evidence, we're going to need some help. Now, come with me. We must awaken the professional.
That toy Tanuki just turned into a human! What's going on? Paimon's never seen one of these before.
Not a Tanuki. I'm a Muchina. I'm so tired. If I don't get enough sleep, it'll stunt my growth.
Is this the professional you were talking about? She doesn't look very professional at all.
She is a member of the Shiumatsuban, a genuine, bona fide ninja.
Oh, wow, a ninja? So was that one of those legendary ninja transformation techniques? Anyway, what's the Shiumatsuban?
It belongs to the Yashiro Commission, a secret unit under Kamisato Ayato. Now, Kamisato Ayato and the Yashiro Commission are neutral parties, so I have no right to give orders to the Shiumatsuban. However, convincing their most chronically lazy member to help us is well within my abilities. Here's what I need you to do. Go into town and find evidence of the Tenryou Commission's betrayal. It would not be appropriate for me to be seen there myself.
You make it sound so simple, but...
Oh, I thought you would have figured it out by now. All right then. I'll indulge you with a little more information. For a complete outsider, probing the inner workings of the Tenryou Commission is nigh on impossible. But since the three commissions work together to serve the Shogun, they have a close relationship. Someone from one of the other commissions might have an easier job of figuring out what they're up to. Now you're following me? The Shogun's army haven't given up on their search for you yet, but with the help of this Shiu Matsuban ninja, I'm sure you'll be able to rendezvous with your friends. Don't forget, we're on a tight schedule here. Be sure to bring back the evidence in good time.
Toma! Toma! You there? It's us! We're back!
What brings you here? Did you meet with the Resistance? How's the battle going? Is it safe for me to come out yet?
Not just yet. We saw people patrolling on our way here.
So, it's still not over. I guess you came here because you have something to discuss? I'll get someone to call for Miss Kamisato. Bear with me for 1 second.
I see. You met. I understand. You need evidence of the Tenryou Commission's betrayal. Let me think. Now that you mention it, there is one thing that has always concerned me. The Shogun's army has been at war with the Resistance for a long time now, but not once has the Shogun ever inquired about it. I used to think that she simply didn't care, but looking at it now, perhaps the problem all along has been with the Tenryou Commission's reports to the Shogun.
What do you mean?
The Tenryou Commission presides over domestic military affairs. If they ever had any intention of concealing information in their reports, we would have no way of knowing. Meanwhile, the Shogun would incorrectly conclude that the Vision Hunt decree poses no threat and would stick to her decision. If we had access to their reports, it would confirm everything.
But as I recall, the only person authorized to access that kind of official documentation is Kujo Takayuki. It's heavily guarded too. Even with Sayu's help, swiping a document from under their noses is no easy task.
If only there was a way we could distract the guards just for long enough.
Yoimiya's fireworks!
That's a very Toma-sounding suggestion. But it's a reasonable one. The statue of the omnipresent god is right by the Tenryou Commission. If someone set off fireworks near the statue, they certainly wouldn't ignore it. While they were preoccupied with that, Sayu could infiltrate the Tenryou Commission and take the report, as well as any other evidence she might find.
Great! It feels like I'm getting closer and closer to being a free man again. It feels like it's been an eternity since we last sat down and talked like this. Well, it certainly felt like it to me. I've been looking forward to seeing you again every day since I got here. This tea house used to be my favorite hiding place, but now I've honestly lost track of how long it's been since I last set foot outside of here. Oh man, I want to go to the hot springs so badly.
Poor Toma.
Let's focus on the issue at hand. The sooner the Vision Hunt decree is abolished, the sooner Toma will be free. This was a reunion of sorts, but there's no time to catch up. We'll celebrate properly when it's all over.
Ooh, let's play the hot pot game again.
You're still thinking about that?
The Tenryou Commission is heavily guarded. Be careful when you get near. Let's meet back here afterwards.
All right. First, let's go to Hanamizaka to find you and Mia.